Hello, everyone. How are we doing today?
Hello.
Hello.
Jim,
Good.
GM.
Hey guys.
Jim from all over the world here. Well, guys, today we have our sixth edition of our demo day. We're doing these this year. We've always had very good turnouts, and part of Tokenized mission of running a venture fund is also building our community and bringing people together around the world. As a lot of you guys know, TBV, we're an early stage venture fund based in Singapore. We have a staff of 15 based all over between Dubai, Singapore, US, and Southeast Asia. And we love bringing people together. We host some of the biggest events through the space. I'm sure a lot of you here have been to those as well. And we have a great judging panel here today from a lot of amazing funds. So really appreciate you guys coming on. We also have a great lineup, I think, of very interesting companies from different verticals in the space, everything from deep in infrastructure memes and all that. So I think it'll be a really informative, interesting set of companies to look at today. And then, and as a lot of you guys know from our prior editions, I do run a very tight ship. I'll go into details on that as well shortly, but Toby, maybe you want to say a few words on some of the events and community events we have coming up, and hopefully we'll be seeing a lot of you guys in Asia for the event season we're about to kick off into. But yeah, Toby, please.
Absolutely. Thanks all for joining, first of all. And excited to see so many of you guys joining these demo days every single month. So I really appreciate you guys' time and also all the smart questions that you're hopefully going to be asking very shortly. In terms of events, we're going to be present in CoinFest Bali next week together with Pudgy Penguins, YGG, and with Blowfin for the most part. And we're also going to be at KBW with a lot of local Korean partners we're excited about. And then we're going to blow up at Token Singapore together with Mario Naval, IBC Group, as well as Pudgy as well. Renting out the Marquee nightclub as well as some penthouse activations during F1. So I really hope you guys will join us for this and sign up early and also come there to show all your energy at these activations. So yeah, excited to see all you guys in Asia soon. And again, thanks for joining. And Brent, excited for your tight ship and the demo day.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Toby. And yeah, we were actually in Romania at the moment at the Untold Music Festival. We'll be having a big activation with them in November, bridging the gap between Web 2 and Web 3 through music and entertainment. So TBD on that. But for today's purpose on the demo day, I'm going to give each of the judges a little bit to kind of speak on the different funds and like what they're also looking for as well. But just so as everyone's aware, we'll be having 6 companies pitching today. Each company gets 2 minutes, and I'm sure a lot of you that have been on prior demo days, I do run it very strictly. So 2 minutes, you will be cut off on the mic because we have a tight ship to run here. And then we leave 5 minutes for Q&A from our esteemed judging panel here today. And then at the very end, we have picked 2 companies that will be doing 30-second pitches, and we'll get a minute of feedback from our BC judging panel. So before we present the first company, I want to make sure each of our judges get a chance to speak as well on their respective companies. So maybe Jackie of Side Door Ventures, you want to kick it off?
Yeah, I got it. Hey, Brent. Hey, Toby. Thanks again for having me. So a little bit about Side Door. So Side Door, sector agnostic, geographically agnostic venture fund. We've got 4 main funds that we invest of all the way from pre-seed to Series B. Most notable to this call is we have a blockchain-specific fund, been deploying capital since early 2022. About 80% of our checks are pre-seed to seed, anywhere from 100,000 to 500,000 is the sweet spot. 80% goes to equity, 20% goes to token warrants, and investing in all types of sectors from L1s, tooling, infrastructure, deepened RWAs, etc.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, Jackie. Really appreciate it. And Nathan from Polygon Ventures, also known as P2 Ventures. Thanks for joining, Nathan. Just a brief background on yourself and what you guys are looking for.
Sweet. Hello. Thank you. Yeah, we're Polygon Ventures, P2 Ventures now. We're the ecosystem fund for Polygon. They raised 450 million about 4 or 5 years ago. They put aside 100 million for our fund. So we've been investing out of that, investing in Polygon founders. And then also we're able to write a few checks outside of Polygon as well. Our thesis is steeped in token founders and token economies. So we're really looking for on-chain businesses. We care about tokens more than equity. So that's a little bit about us.
Awesome. Thanks for joining, Nathan. And we also have Kelly from Arrington Capital. Kelly, thanks for joining, and please a bit on yourself and what Arrington looks to invest in.
Hi guys, thanks for having me. Kelly Callahan, I'm a partner at Arrington Capital. We are a Web3 hedge fund with both a liquid trading side of the business and a venture side. The fund has made over 300 private venture investments. We like earlier the better. I'm really excited to be here today. I was previously a CMO at a layer one that we grew up to a significant amount. And so I've been on the other side of this, and I really, really enjoy working with and supporting our early stage founders as they launch, go to market, bring products to life.
Awesome. Thanks for joining, Kelly. And we also have Kushkara from Maelstrom Fund. Also, a lot of you guys know is Arthur Hayes' fund as well. So Kushkara, please on yourself and what you guys like to invest in.
Hey guys, great to be here. Kushagar from Maelstrom. We're an early stage crypto fund. As you might know, Arthur Hayes, it's Arthur Hayes Family Office. We invest in pre-seed to Series A companies, writing checks between 100K to 250K. And we also have a liquid arm as well. Most notable investments are Athena, Aether, EtherFi.
Mona Tesler from Token Desk. Mona, a brief background on yourself and what you like to invest in, and then we'll kick off to the pitches.
Hi guys, yeah, I'm Mona. I used to be a founder in the Web2 space and education technology and then food technology, a boring strategy consultant, and then I moved over 6 years ago into the Web3 space, initially in investments for like in the fintech app capacity, and now have been running as a head of investments at Tokentis, which is a German publicly listed entity on the German stock exchange, investing in Web3 companies. And I'm also a partner now at Edge Capital, which is a large DeFi hedge fund doing a lot of liquidity provision. So kind of wearing two hats today.
Awesome. Well, really appreciate you taking the time to join us. So without further ado now, we will kick it off to our 6 companies pitching today. And the first will be Robert with Vicalax. And Robert, if you could share your screen, and then I'll start the clock.
Sure. Let's see here if I can. Unfortunately, we're on that screen. Let's see if this works here. And can you see that?
Yep, we can see you.
Awesome. I'm Robert Hirsch, a founder of Scalex. What happens when blockchains can talk directly? Scalex removes bridges and intermediaries so layer 1 chains connect trustlessly, unlocking a bigger, faster, safer blockchain economy. We're building service chains. These are utility-specific layer 1 blockchains that connect to any upgraded chain, process cross-chain transactions natively, and support any consensus logic. They're secure and quantum safe. Anything smart contracts can do, service chains can do more securely and with less friction, and without bridge risks. Imagine one tether connected to every chain instead of 10 costly, confusing versions, or an AI project that focuses entirely on its core features while seamlessly relying on other blockchains for everything else that it needs. Imagine a blockchain world without bridges or liquidity silos, where any service is accessible from anywhere. You can pay with the coins that you have, build without launching a new token, and every transaction shares its fees directly with validators, but also developers, businesses, and investors. The on-chain fee market is already $22 billion and growing fast. Scalex isn't locked into one niche. It can capture revenue from every major sector at once. That market is projected to reach $46 billion in 2027 and over $1.2 trillion by 2035. Scalex scales with that growth by expanding access, utility, and revenue capture across all chains. We're here to connect the blockchain economy. The future isn't building better bridges, it's eliminating them entirely to unlock new revenue streams and make interoperability native to layer 1. Let's talk about how you can be part of building that trustless, connected future. This is hard stuff, so I have some template questions that I've been asked 1,000 times. So you can use these or other ones.
Awesome. Thank you for the pitch. That was very good. And now we'll go to the 5-minute timer. And you were actually under time. Didn't even have to stop you. So awesome job, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, maybe stop. We can start with Jackie. Thoughts, feedback, or any questions?
Yeah, no one took our questions on my end, so I'll leave it to the other judges here.
Awesome. Kelly or Nathan?
Yeah, Robert, can you walk through some of the current status of product rollouts and integrations that you've had and how those have gone?
So this is pre-seed and very early stage. So our TG is coming up in 4 to 6 months, depending. We have partnerships and we have demonstrations of this technology working, but we have not yet deployed this yet. I can talk about our roadmap if you like.
Yeah, that'd be great. Or so can you talk a little bit more about how you think about going to market and what TG looks like?
Oh, absolutely. So let me kind of start with this here, because this helps understand how we go to market a lot. In our model, any service chain will be producing fees when people use that service. And this is different than every other blockchain right now. We do pay validators out of those fees, but also investors, developers, and also some trickles up to the main Scalix blockchain. So any single service chain, no matter what it does, would look something like that. Okay, so what's important is that we're going to be deploying 2 or 3 service chains to start our own, because we can't, this is native tech. It has to go into blockchains to work. So we got to start. So we have our main chain, and we're going to deploy our own blockchain, our own service chains to start. Each of those service chains will have their own validators, their own developers, and their own investors, although they may be more than one for each of these things. So we'll deploy 3. Then we'll deploy more. And so as each of these grow, we'll grow out the service chains, deploying different utility for different aspects of different markets. We'll have partners. We already have a couple partners, Prasaga and Axone right now. Axone's an AI company. And we're going to be deploying more and more. What's important is that in time, we have already 2 blockchains, layer 1 blockchains, that want to connect into our ecosystem. When we do that, they take this technology into their blockchain. Their user base, their liquidity can come out and deploy into the utility space that we've created. So we start small, we connect to smaller chains, we connect eventually to larger and larger chains, and this is a longer process. But we're growing utility and we're connecting to partner chains like once every 6 months. Does that explain does that answer the question you're asking?
Yeah, that's helpful. Thank you.
Okay, I can go back.
I had a couple of questions.
Do
you guys need your own blockchain, and do you need to create your own block space? And then if not, are you going to become a protocol, and do you need nodes?
Yeah, that's totally fair. So we started by saying, oh, we'll just take this technology to a blockchain and put it in there. That's a very heavy lift. There's a lot of assumptions like with that. So we were guided, and we guided ourselves also to say, okay, look, we need to demonstrate this. So that's why we have a blockchain. That our blockchain isn't an EVM. It doesn't do anything special. In fact, it kind of models the Bitcoin, Litecoin kind of. It's a UTXO-based blockchain. It doesn't actually do anything itself except provide the security layer for the Scalix tokens. Those same tokens are going into these other blockchains. Those other blockchains are not minting new tokens for fees. Those are our fees. This is also unique. You don't need to create new tokens for new utility, because we give investors and other partners a share of the revenues that are developed on chain. So we do need a blockchain that is allowed to do all this, and we need to demonstrate this. That's why we do this. All of these other service chains that we'll also be building makes it so that they're not dependent on each other. So if there's a problem on one chain, another chain doesn't have a problem. Like if there's a stop chain or a volatile block times, that affects everything on those chains. We are making all the utility happen in parallel. So the answer is yes, we do need our own blockchain just for demonstration, but also to really launch this thing in the way that's properly done. We have to move to decentralized utility and stop trying to trap liquidity into layer 1 and layer 2s.
Right. So the Scalix tokens will have a home base on your blockchain and be able to go out into the world. My other question was around other
sorry,
companies.
Nathan.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nathan. Just yeah, that was the 5 minutes, but thank you for the questions. Alrighty, and thank you, Robert. Next up, we have Carlos of Animal Protocol. Carlos, you are up.
I'm up and I'm on the screen. Thank you, everyone. Animal Protocol is an RWA network built to support all animal economies. What that means is all the animals that we interact with, from our companion animals to livestock, bird stock, fish stock, everything we consume, everything we utilize for entertainment, all the way to wildlife is meant to be registered on this network. Now, it's a thriving ecosystem in the real world made up of over 10 billion assets, over 6 billion human caregivers, and over 500,000 enterprises, some of which many of us know their brands, and I'll discuss them in a second. It's a $6 trillion a year economy. And one thing that's often overlooked is that it's the second largest asset class in the world. It's tremendously valuable and something that all of us depend on each day. What we're doing with blockchain is unlocking the value of the data that is required to manage any operation. It could be a large operation like a cattle operation with 10,000 head, all the way to your operation at home with your dog. We're creating a trusted data layer made up of identification of each one of these animals, and what that layer of data provides is access and trust, so that on the other side of the market, all the enterprises that support these different verticals can provide their offerings. These offerings can be something as simple as pet food, something a bit more sophisticated like pet insurance, or for a ranch operation, it can mean financing, access to capital, access to insurance, to climate changes, etc. These are all things that currently are very opaque and hard to get access to. Give you an example. To fund a ranch operation in Brazil will yield an investor about 18% per year, very expensive money. The reason is because there is no data describing that operation. We're trying to create that data, lower the cost of capital, make things more efficient. We deployed the first version of our system last year into the pet industry. We have 2.5 million pets registered. About 1 million of those are validated by.
And that is time on the 2 minutes, but thank you, Carlos. Let's go to Mona from Token Test. Mona, we'd love to know your thoughts or any questions for Carlos.
Sorry, how much did you raise so far? And you're raising 2.5 now. And can you give a little bit more on how the roadmap's going to look? Where are you going with this big picture? I understand the Web2 industry is very, very big for animals, but it seems a little bit hard for me to understand how does that replicate on chain.
Raised $5.5 million to date. On our cap table are companies like Nestle Purina, who's the largest food manufacturer in the world. And just to answer your other question, this idea of how do we bring in Web3, it's to unlock access to data. So companies like Amazon are interested in joining. Zoetis, which is the largest pharmaceutical company for all animals, are interested in joining. So this trusted data layer creates access. That's the main play, is to provide access to all these enterprises so that they can better manage, and that even leads into access to the capital markets for many of these operations. I was going to say, looking forward, there is a network token. That network token is backed by the revenue generated by these industries. So what we're doing is ensuring that the network is highly sustainable. So we tie ourselves to the 250 million daily off-chain transactions that all generate revenue. As we bring those on chain, a piece of each one of those transactions will go into the network treasury. So as you can see from that perspective, we're tying ourselves to these evergreen economies and taking a piece of the action per transaction that we bring on chain.
Hey, Carlos, Jackie Plash. Yeah.
Hey,
Carlos,
Jackie
Jack Plash from Sidedoor Ventures. Just touching on what Mona mentioned. how are you guys bridging the gap from Web 2 to Web 3? Obviously, a lot of these people that have animals, they're very Web 2 native. How are you guys abstracting the complexities and onboarding them to the blockchain?
So we don't mention the word wallet or token. We use the word rewards. Our economy is based on two key stakeholders: data contributors and data consumers. So data contributors, once they start managing their dog at home or their operation, they're continuously providing data to the system. That happens autonomously with our AI agent protocol. So it's collecting data, verifying and validating it, making it accessible to the other side of the market. So it's completely, the user experience is not Web3 native as far as people are used to. It's very Web2. So you log in with your Gmail, and we're using Web3 auth to authenticate. And then rewards are just considered rewards. The network token for now is hidden in terms of utility. When we charge our enterprises, we charge them with a fiat invoice, and then we use the funds from that invoice to buy and burn token. So we try to make everything as simple and not foreign as possible.
Great. And then maybe any feedback from Pushkara or to Demir?
Yeah, I mean, one question that I was thinking about was like, there's been a lot of like work around like data chains and things like that, but we'd be curious to hear like what is kind of like the differentiator with partnering with you guys versus all these other kind of players in this space.
So we're industry specific. Everyone we deal with on our network deals with animals in some sort of way. I've been working in the animal space for over a decade. Our founders, this is our second startup in the space. We know everyone in the space. So as far as like business development, it's really just a matter of texting the CEO of one of these enterprises and getting them to test drive the system. So I think from a legacy perspective, we understand the space really well. The problem we're trying to solve is a problem this industry has been trying to solve for decades now, and we're bringing a solution. And we have the respect and the network to grow this quickly once we've set up the tools. So now that we set up our rails, just to give you an example, we're deploying veterinary AI, which is all AI leverages data. So our network is providing data to inform this AI. And that's something we just announced last week. We'll be presenting it this week. And to give you an idea, the top 30 companies are coming in to hear my talk. So I think it's a matter of just having that advantage in terms of our legacy in the space.
Awesome. Great job, Carlos. And thanks for the question, Coach Pushkara. Next up, we will have Miranda from One Llama. Miranda, if you could share your screen, then we'll put you on the clock.
Hi, my name is Miranda Tan. I'm the CEO and founder of One Llama. One Llama is reimagining auto insurance with AI, community, and token. The auto insurance is broken and unaffordable. 45 million drivers in the US don't have full coverage. And what's even worse is people like you and I, safe drivers, are being punished. We're paying high premiums. With the deepened device, One Llama turns your vehicle into income-generating asset with every safe mile. So this is how it works. You own a car, you buy our plan and our device, you bind it to your car, we collect data, you drive safe, you earn tokens. We partner with the biggest repair shops in the US, and these include Meineke, Mako, CarStar, Jiffy Lube. We're also partnering with the hardware device resellers. We're talking about initial $5 billion beachhead market size with massive upside. And we're looking to raise $2 million to launch and to achieve early product market fit. Our target's 1 million ARR and to get 5,000 members. Go-to-market strategies to launch our repair shop networks and hardware resellers. Our investor is TBV Capital. Our team has successful exits. Hassan Mia, my partner and co-founder, has a $75 million exit. I raised over $20 million in ICO and millions in equity raise. George Acosta, who heads our claims, he has one of the largest repair shop and tow truck company in California, $15 million ARR and a team of 140 people. We have Lex, who's processed 20 to 30,000 claims each month. And we have a strong advisory team with Calvin from Binance, Luke Kerner, who's the founder of Crypto Mondays, Toby and Brett from TBV. And we're a Michigan-based company, and our whole thing is collect data, drive safe, earn tokens. Thank you.
Awesome. Great job, Miranda. Maybe let's start with Nathan. We'll love your feedback or thoughts or any questions from Miranda.
Sweet. So from the metadata that we're collecting from the cars, what do we think is going to drive the first parts of revenue? So if we could tie revenue to metadata, what are people going to pay for?
So when people sign on, they buy our device, and they buy one of our plans. And based on our plans, we have 5 plans, and it's every 6 months. And then when they buy our plan, to say, $1,000 for a 6-month plan, then basically when they buy the device, they connect us to the car. As soon as they connect us to the car, they download the app, they scan the QR code, they connect it, and we start collecting data. And for every safe mile you drive, either going to work, going to school, picking up your kid, buying grocery, you're earning money. So we're turning your car into an income generating asset. And as you drive safer and safer, the more tokens you earn.
And then what's that data, I guess, that you're collecting that institutions are going to pay for that goes then back to the driver?
Well, the data we're collecting, it's all about, for example, one of the key things that we're collecting is we want our members to know everything about their car. For example, their tires, their gas, everything about the ins and outs of their car. It's like car, auto diagnostic. And the other thing is when they're driving, they're driving slow, they're driving fast, they're going crazy turns. We're collecting all that data. And then we're rewarding them instead of punishing them, all of us, auto insurance is at all-time high. So what we're doing now is we're basically rewarding you for every safe mile you're driving. And that means when you're driving 1 mile, you have no, our whole thing in 6 months period, if you have no claims, then you earn a lot of tokens. And if you do have an accident, it's okay. We offer auto protection. So what that means, if you do have a claim, which, doesn't include mechanical, it's basically collision, awesome, someone steals your car, windshield damage, flooding. We have a mutual way. All the members in the network basically, pay for the cost of repair.
Okay, sweet, thanks.
But that's a great question. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe let's go to Kelly. Kelly, any questions or feedback from Miranda?
Have you tested this with any customers and sort of, can you break down what this looks like for an average person who drives an average number of miles every year and pays an average insurance bill in some average state, what it actually looks like what's the tangible outcome? It's hard for most people. I think it's just a monthly or an annual check. You pay, you forget about it, you move on
I'll
until
walk you through it. So we've actually done MVP already in Michigan. I mean, not just Michigan, but Michigan is one of the places we kind of really kind of hit hard. Michigan is, as you know, Motor City. So the way it works is just when you drive a car, you have full coverage. You have full coverage, right? So full coverage, or you just buy liability. So what we're saying now is, stay where you are for liability. Come to us for collision comprehensive. So you pick one of our plans. And you pick our plan, we don't discriminate. You pick a plan based on your budget and based on your need. Our plans range from $350 to $1,000 for a 6-month period. And if you pick our $350 package, that goes up to $9,000 protection. If you want something higher, you could go for a bronze package. It's $500, which is a $15,000 protection, and it's every 6 months. So when you sign on, you buy our plan. You basically sign on. You put your VIN number, your personal information, how many authorized drivers. And then you buy one of our devices, which is, $99. And then once you buy our plans, every 6 months, subscription. Okay. Just like you pay Geico, just like you pay Allstate. The thing is, we're not a liability. We just do collision comprehensive protection. So when you sign on, you start, and you're driving, and then we're collecting data, and you're just doing what you normally do. Go to work, pick up your grocery, do what you normally do. And then if you do have an accident, like you hit somebody, hit a mailbox, something falls in your windshield, what happens is you file a claim, and then we have we collect all the money from our members, and we have it's like a mutual, we basically cover we take care of your car. And then if you don't have an accident, what's cool about this is based on that 6-month period, you don't have an accident, then you get money back from your plan. And we're looking at, in our initial test, members actually save 70%, up to 70% of their plan. But, it depends. It goes to 40% or more. It depends on how many claims. Our whole thing is we're changing the way people drive, so they drive safer. And then after that 6-month period, if you have like no accident, you get money back. And then it renews every 6 months, just like you do, like, you know, like what you do now, Geico. Does that make sense? And then our device just basically, it just goes in your car and we're just collecting data in terms of how you drive. And then you see this in your app. You see basically how you're driving. And so yeah, so you see how you're driving. And then the other thing I think you asked me is like, do we have members? Yes, we did an MVP.
So then we have to go to the next one here, but thank you for the time and the great pitch. Next up, we will have Offer from Cosmic Play. Offer, please.
Hi guys. Perfect. Okay, so Cosmic Play, we actually bring the Web2 social gaming into the Web3 environment. Let me just open the presentation. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I got like 15 years in the mobile games and social games. My partner, Daniel Yaron, got also more than 10 years in the social gaming with Bingo Drive, which is one of the biggest social bingo application. Our idea is to approach the mini apps platforms with our super app. We're going to launch the game on Telegram, on Discord, online, Secret, Kakao, and other platforms that will be also supporting mini apps like X and more. Our unique value proposition is that we bring a platform that enable us to develop any games within 3 months time, which usually take about 12 months time, with all the social features supported, all the monetization features, and to provide unique look and feel and interest for the users to play the games and not just boring tap to earn game without any excitement and any community and social features included. So far, we've been funding the project ourselves around 150K. We're looking for $1.5 million at $5 million pre-money valuation. We have a commitment of 700K from a very strong media buy company. We're going to use the investment to finish and develop the game. So far, we're in the middle of the development. And for the go-to-market plan, KOLs, PR, project corporation, so on. Also media buy, traditional media buy. The game called Chicken Crash. We actually took 2 very successful games in the gambling industry. The Crash game from the Aviator became the biggest game in the market and passed the slots games. CoinMaster is one of the biggest social gaming application in the market, generating more than $1 billion a year in revenues. We created a unique...
Okay, and that is time. But thank you, Offer. And we will go to the judges. And let's go to this time, Kushkara. We'll love your thoughts.
Yeah, I think right off the bat, I think really interesting concept here, combining gambling and gaming. My question to you is, how do you guys kind of plan on distributing the game to users and finding your niche? Because you know, one thing is you're also going to be competing with like gamblers essentially that play these games on DraftKings, etc., for example. So I'm curious to hear how you're kind of thinking about your go-to-market and user acquisition strategy.
Okay, so it's a great question. The thing is the following. We are targeting a blue ocean market, which is the Telegram, the Line, the Discord platforms, where you can generate active users in a very, very low cost, between 5 to 20 cents, US cents, to generate an active user. So our main focus is going to be on those platforms, to generate traffic from those platforms. And second is a go-to-market plan with KOLs. There are a lot of games KOLs that we are in touch with and that we are going to use them to promote our game. Does that answer your question?
Yep, that's great. Thanks.
Perfect.
Yeah, thanks, Kushkara. And then let's go to Jackie. So I'm going to get to the last one. Love to hear any thoughts or questions.
Yeah, how are you guys thinking about it from a regulatory perspective? Do you guys need to incorporate in a favorable
jurisdiction with gambling, or can you guys go around that loophole similar to like a fantasy sports because it's skill-based wagering?
Yeah, we don't need any regulation here because this is a free-to-play game. It's a social game without any real money gambling involved. So no regulation. You know, the only thing is once we're gonna launch the token in a few states in the US, we will, you know, probably we're gonna block the activity for that. That's all.
Thanks, Jackie. And then Nathan or Mona, lastly, any questions for Offer?
Then what blockchain ecosystem are you launching on and focusing on? I know each ecosystem has different user base and user styles.
Yeah, so we are very flexible here, and for each platform we might use different ecosystem and blockchain. For Telegram it's gonna be Ton, of course, but for Line and for the other platform we are still in negotiation with a few chains, and you know, based on the grant and on the cooperation we're gonna get from them, we will decide which to choose.
So
Awesome.
you haven't decided how you're building this, the infrastructure behind it. Can you talk a little bit more about the technical infrastructure behind it?
Okay, regarding the infrastructure, we already developed the platform for the game, and we already working on the game development and the integration to the Ton. That's the first launch we're gonna do. Then we're gonna move to the next chains, and we will develop it on each chain. We are not there yet, but the Ton is the first chain we already started to integrate with.
Okay, great. Any other questions from the judges? Otherwise, we will go to Nick from Bullbet. Nope. Okay, all said. Thank you, Offer. Appreciate it. And yeah, next up is Nick from Bullbet. Nick, if you could share your screen, please. Yep, I can hear you and can see your screen. Yep, all set, man.
Perfect. So I'm Nick. I'm the CEO of Bullbet. So most crypto casinos these days are just a reskinned white label platform. They're only really competing on bonuses themselves. With Bullbet, we're doing it differently. So we've built our entire platform from the ground up. We're having exclusive games that are only going to be on our platform that we've built with our own in-house team. And these are different to the type of games that you're already kind of seen and know, such as Aviator and whatever else. With Gull, our token powers pretty much everything. So when the user stake, they can stake a set amount to instantly unlock a certain VIP status, such as the Gull tier. When they utilize the Gull token, they're going to get enhanced rakebacks, exclusive bonuses, and they're going to get additional entries on our community jackpot as well. So with Gull, we have on-chain community jackpot, which is fully on-chain, fully identifiable through the blockchain, and it takes a 0.5% transaction fee from anyone who uses the token itself. That will go straight back to the community. So with Bullbet, we're creating the first social file layer for a casino. So we're going to have features in there such as, you know, having a friends this week and add your own friends, a party list. You can make a party with up to 6 people. You'll be able to see all the slots live viewing on the platform with your entire party. You can have a point system. So we're going to have an in-house point system where people can earn when they engage in, you know, certain events, activities, challenges. There's going to be NFT like avatars, so you can fully customize and change the background, the head, the face, the eyes, the eyebrows, everything, and you can purchase more through the shop. We're going to have custom PvP bets and challenges. So users can create their own private or public wagers, depending on what they want. If it's going to be first to win $1,000, who can do a kickflip on a skateboard. There's also going to be achievement titles. So for major milestones, if you hit a 500,000x, you'll be able to display this on your profile as a badge, as glittery or a different color name when you talk in the chat. So our MVP currently is already 95% complete and it's built entirely from scratch. We already have a few custom games that we've already built that we are already live testing, and we're kind of ready to go. But we're currently raising 1.72 million at around a 9 million FDV. So yeah.
Awesome, man. Right on cue, at the mark. Thanks for the pitch, Nick. Let's go to Tamir from Cyberton. Tamir, we'd love to know your thoughts.
Yep. Hello, everyone, guys. How are you doing today? Pleasure to be here. And what's about you told like your MVP is ready, but what's your plan about like partnerships, etc., and reaching to the goal you are raising, because you are raising quite a high, like quite a high round.
Yeah, so in terms of partnerships, we've already got all the partnerships down that we need. So we've already got a great relationship with Hub 88, which is the aggregator for the games. So obviously, everyone who wants to come in there, this is why most of the Web3 casinos that are just Web3 games kind of fail, because they don't offer everything. So we're going to be able to offer the full suite that you can see from any other crypto casino that you have. We'll have our own kind of in-game custom games as well. We've got all the legal side set up for who we need to, get to where we need to be. And then obviously with the Web3 partnerships, we're looking to build on 10 network, which is a new kind of blockchain layer 2 coming out, which is purposely for the entertainment network, as they call it. So they're going to be onboarding a lot of their iGaming, companies out there as well. So we're going to be one of the flagship models from them that's released on their chain.
Thanks for the question, Demir. And then let's go back to Kelly. Kelly, we've got your thoughts and questions.
Yeah, so is this something are you more focused on getting people to build their own games and bring them to your platform, or is it more like influencers, bring your friends and we're going to go play these games? Can you sort of talk to me about the intersection of those?
It's basically like your normal crypto casino you see at the moment. We're already building out in-house custom games that I've never seen before. So we've got one called Treasure Maps.
All the games are custom built by you.
Not all of them. So we're going to supply all the games that you see in like Stake and Gamdom and all those. So they're all going to be supplied. We have our own that we're going to be building in-house. So we've got one at the moment called Treasure Maps, which is very unique and only going to be available to us. We're also going to be building towards our own slot engine. So we'll be able to compete with the top end guys like Hacksaw, No Limit City, Pragmatic Play. We'll be able to compete with those guys eventually, during our in our roadmap. Because we've got a great relationship with Hub 88, we're easily able to list on there. So our games, when we do get to the slot engine stage, we'll already be listing like Stake, Gamdom, and then we already have the connections to all the other aggregators to get put into those as well.
Thanks for the question, Kelly. And then let's go back to Mona. Mona, any thoughts or questions for me?
Do you need any licenses? If which ones, and where are you kind of basing this in order to be able to actually operate within certain countries versus others where there's some restrictions on betting specifically?
Yeah, so we'll be having a license with Anjuana. Future proofing, we're looking at getting an Isle of Man to, because you never know exactly what's going to happen with the licenses, but we could future proof it by going with an Isle of Man, which is a lot more desirable for the European licenses. But initially, we'll be going with an Anjuana license.
What licenses do you need, or which regulatory?
It's just essentially an Anjuana gambling license.
Okay. And can you operate, sorry, I'm hijacking time, but can you operate anywhere with this license?
No, so there is restrictions of where you can operate, but on the marketing, how the users kind of come in here is, a different story. But there is restrictions, and there are countries that we will have to block.
Yeah, based on my knowledge, there's quite a lot of restrictions, and it's actually quite a difficult territory to navigate. So I think that's probably something important to focus on in a longer pitch.
Yeah, that's fine.
BVI structure is kind of good for that, don't you think about that?
Say again, sorry?
Like BVI legal structure is kind of good for that kind of projects, you know what I mean? Like casinos and
yeah, so it'll be an Anjuana license, but we will have an entity in BVI.
Sounds good. All right.
Awesome. We have a little extra time. Jackie or Kuskara, any other thoughts or questions? Otherwise, we'll go to the next company. Okay, all set. Thank you, Nick.
Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate the time. And then last up, we'll have James from Brocade. James, if you could share your screen, please.
Sure. I just dropped links to the deck and to the tokenomics. And I'm sharing my screen now. Can everyone see the deck?
Yep.
Great.
Works.
All right. So I'm James, founder of grokade.com. I'm Grokade James on Telegram, if anyone wants to reach out. Essentially, AI makes game creation easy, but most devs are building blindly without knowing if anyone actually wants the game. So players are overwhelmed by low quality, unfinished games, and Web3 transition is already complex and costly. So the result is time, money, and talent is wasted on games nobody is playing. So Grokade comes in as an AI launchpad for UGC game concepts. We turn game ideas into launch-ready Web3 games, treating games as content. User submits the content, AI predicts the demand, and the community votes to validate through a TikTok-like experience. And if it passes, we fast track development and distribution, and winning ideas are quickly developed and launched through the platform. So we have some traction. These are some numbers that we've hit. We're seeing some organic growth on socials. We also have a few marketing workflows that are like our game duels for growth hacking once we have a marketing budget. And as far as the business model, I think the trick here is we're trying to link product adoption to monetization so we can show unit economics and prepare for Series A. We expect like a burn rate after funding around 50K per month. So to break even, there's different ways that we can earn money. We think the subscriptions through members and the launchpad fees for the game devs are the way to do it. And if we get around 3,000 subscriptions and roughly we launch around 4 or 5 games a month, that should get us to break even. So, as far as like our competitive edge, I'd say it's unique that we have AI validation with community voting and then a launch pipeline. So it's real end to end. We're building network effects right now, and there is a strong dev support and player engagement tool, that's being utilized. Our core team, besides the 150 developers, studios, and AI experts, includes Zynga veterans. And we also have a partnership with Justin Waldron, the founder of Zynga.
Okay, right on time. Thanks for the pitch, James. Let's start with Nathan. Any questions or feedback for James?
Yeah, I was wondering how you're finding game creators and then holding on to them to launch on your platform.
Sorry. So we actually jumped into the Vibe gaming craze, and we connected with a lot of game jams that were happening at the time to do sort of our initial listing. And so we plugged in and really built this network based off of that. And, there's been sort of like a core collective around that has sort of like extended it beyond those game jam competitions. And so, that seems to be a good strategy for us to grow the network. But, that's kind of why we need marketing, is to continue sort of boosting exposure on that front.
And then just to confirm, are you a pump.fund for games? Do you help them with the launchpad, token creation, liquidity pool creation, bonding?
It's a different incentive system. We're partnering with another protocol, Justin Waldron, who's doing something like that, but we're coordinating. And I think what our workflow does is create incentives for the entire workflow for people participating, from end to end on our front. We haven't really made that decision because our platform isn't dependent on Web3. Like you could still come here as a Web2 game and use all the tools, but the incentives start becoming much more lucrative if you start implementing different, Web3 components. And so the incentives are the way that we do that.
Great, understood.
Great. And
Do you-
go ahead.
Do you have any success stories you can share, James, with games that have come on, like sort of what stage you're at in building this and what the benefits they've seen, whether that's cost savings, humans they haven't had to hire, and how they've sort of been found on your platform?
Yeah, I think for most people with the stage, because we're a pretty young product, but it's all about exposure and boosting visibility and conversions to daily players that they're using. I think just by the nature of the workflow, and this is a fast-moving space, so I think like we haven't launched any of the games, but we've gotten demo versions using some of the AI tools, and I think it's obvious that the speed to delivery is there, the speed to generate the concepts is there, so we're more focused sort of on putting the entire value chain together. And I think it's at the end of the day, and I built the platform before, raised funds $500,000, and we built like 40 Unity games, but the hardest thing was players. So that kind of was itching me in this endeavor, is to really focus on attacking that problem and creating a hub spot for player development and player audience growth. And so that's kind of, like the success story that we think all of our game developers can have, and save time, obviously, by vetting their concept before it comes out. Because, as Grok comes out and all these different these game builders come out, it's going to be extremely difficult to kind of make sense of all of it. And I think we need to start having systems that sort of vet which ones actually have the capability to get to a point of monetization so everybody can make money.
Are there early incentives for players that discover some of the better games that sort of trend or bubble up within the platform?
Yeah, there's a player reward system baked in, and right now we're, allowing people to sort of participate and engage in the platform, and they can accrue and develop, a base of value for in, not only the platform economy, but through our partnership, there's also incentives, within other protocol where for the specific games, once we launch our SDK, they'll be able to actually, participate and engage inside the actual games and continue, gaining value from that. But we want to be real smart, when we actually sort of allow them to sort of, extract that, if you will, and be smart about making sure that we're not, hurting the economy and making sure that there's, reusability and it's a recycled economy that's building toward the economy, so it's more stable and sustainable.
Thanks for the question, Kelly. And just really quick, any kind of final thoughts from Jackie, Coach Kuskara, Mona, before we go to the two quick lightning pitches?
Yeah, James, what's the revenue split for game developers that are launching on your platform? How do you guys go about that?
I think standard in the industry, like if you look at like Steam or some of these other big platforms, they're becoming more aggressive. I think it's like 10-20%. To be honest, I think we want to have a stake in it, but it's a small amount. So, it'll probably be, something more competitive than what's out there.
Awesome. Great. Good job, James. Well, that wraps up our full pitches. We'll go to the two lighting pitches, which are each a minute each, and we will start with Jesse from Trustware. Jesse, if you could please share your screen, then we'll put you on the clock.
Cool. My name is Jesse from Trustware. The world of money is moving on chain at a kind of eye-watering pace, already 4 trillion existing, and stables are growing equally. But the problem is not everything talks to each other. If you want to send money to someone, you need to know the right asset, the right chain, the right wallet, and that's massive friction. Imagine if money moved automatically to where it's most useful, and it was really just as simple as sending an email. Now it is. At Trustware, we've created the first programmable identity routing infrastructure for digital assets. And so behind each one of these identities is kind of powerful logic, and that automates all of the hard work, the receiving, bridging, swapping, routing. And so you can deliver any asset across 70 chains, 10,000 plus tokens. Basically, TLDR, send any asset on any chain to one single identity, one URL, and it arrives as what they need. We're live and we are gaining tractions across verticals like treasury, remittances, and card top-ups. You guys can kind of read there. That's about it. Raising 3 million pre-seed right now. Yeah, thanks.
Great job, Jesse. Any quick feedback from Nathan, Kathy, Kuskara, Samir, or Jesse?
Yeah, like you want to fund the debit card, is it? Like, so this is like so hard compliant thing as well. What do you think about like what kind of currencies we're gonna like top up, etc. Like, because it's at my point, like you just need to have so many licenses to build it up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so we're non-KYC, non-custodial. Basically, if you look at something like Cast or AVAX card or anything built by Rain, they only accept a few currencies, right? And they allow for an exposed wallet address, and you can top that up with, for example, USDT. So this is what we're doing right now. We also have third parties that can get us out to banks, mobile money, et cetera, that are already established partnerships. But a good example, for example, is like Cast, right? It only accepts Polygon, Solana, et cetera, only USDT. With Trustware, I can connect that wallet in the background, and in 30 seconds, I can be sending a meme coin, and it will arrive as what they need, which is, for example, USDT on Polygon. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's so curious. Like, thank you, because I was looking to get an answer for it myself, you know.
Yeah, if you'd like to check it out, we're live, and I can show you a demo. Thanks.
Sure, thank you.
Great job, Jesse. And last but not the least, we have Sarah from Open Format. And Sarah, if you could share your screen, we'll put you on the clock.
Okay, can you see that?
Yep, perfect.
Great, thank you so much. Great to be here. Communities, I think we all know, sit at the heart of Web3. But there's a big problem. They're chaos. Community managers are drowning in scatter chats, missed signals, with zero way to see the whole picture and make data-driven decisions. At Open Format, we solve this. We connect the dots across Discord, Telegram, Twitter, anywhere communities live. We give community managers real-time insights and recommendations, responses, rewards. The interface, a powerful always-on assistant that you chat to directly. It's a thought partner, a sentiment checker, a campaign planner, a data scientist, and a second brain. It improves with every interaction. It's 24/7 and multilingual. We're live with 360,000 members. We start charging this week. Our vision is to be the default command center for community builders everywhere. And we're raising right now to keep up with demand. Get in touch for more information.
Great job, Sarah. And yeah, very, very quick. Any feedback, questions from Mona, Kushkara, Nathan, or Kelly for Sarah?
What would you say is your kind of main competitive advantage in comparison to other projects trying to solve a very similar problem?
I think our main competitive advantage is how specifically we've focused and obsessed on the role of the community manager and moderator, and the fact that we're enabling people to build in specific context layers that make the assistant relevant to only them. So the more you feed your community brain, it gets more and more relevant and tied to your goals, your community, your behaviors. This we see as our moat. We're also building in privacy layers into this that we care about deeply. And so we think it's part of our long-term strategy, but it also makes everything super relevant and more relevant with every interaction.
Great job, Sarah. And if you could please remove your screen, and thank you for presenting. And that's everybody. We really appreciate everyone coming on today, spending an hour with us. We do this monthly. Again, big shout out to Nathan, Timur, Jackie, Kashgora, Kelly, and Mona as our judging panel today. You guys were awesome. And hopefully we'll be seeing you guys with the event circuit coming up at CoinFest Poly, Korea Blockchain Week, or Token 2049 in Singapore. So great to see everyone. We'll see you soon, and take care.